Good afternoon to all the dignitaries, respected guests of today's program, and all the connected audience. I, Pallavi Dikshit, Assistant Professor SISTec-R, welcomes you all for the online session on design thinking, critical thinking, and innovation design. It is organized under IIC, that is Institutional Innovation Council, SISTec-R. Well, it is rightly said, if you want to do something new, then you have got to find the ways to do something new by eradicating the ways which you are already doing. Innovation helps you to be in that direction. Keeping the same purpose in mind, today's online session has been organized. So here, let me give you the briefing on the event, what it is all about. The event is meant to work on strategies and practical exposure to students and helping them find the innovative ways to develop and come up with new projects. Our respected expert is also going to throw some light on critical thinking that can provide a way to alter our mindset, to provide the way by which we can solve our problems and look positively on the decisions. The main objective of workshop is to immerse our students into the world of innovation as a systematic process to tackle social problems by new technological developments. Moving ahead, here, as we all know, changes call upon for innovation, and innovation leads to progress always. And this is how new innovations and changes happens with one good gesture, one good person, and one moment at a time. Here I am talking about our senior faculty, Mr. C.K. Pardi from SISTec-R, who imbibes the same theory and is continuously making changes in our students' life. I would humbly call upon respected C.K. Pardi sir, Associate Professor from Mechanical Department, SISTec-R, who is also serving as a President of IIC, Institutional Innovation Council. I would request sir for the welcome address.
Thank, thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon to all who join this session on design thinking, creative thinking, and innovation design. On behalf of Institutional Innovation Council, SISTec-R, I welcome all on this online virtual session on this design thinking. Uh, Dear participants, as we all aware about that the government and Ministry of Education is focused greatly on the innovations and in the area of entrepreneurship to develop a new and creative and feasible solutions to some problems which are related with our day-to-day life, and the problems which are related with the social societies. So the main objective of this workshop or of this session is to prepare the mindset of our students to think creatively and to apply their technical knowledge to find out the solution of any problem innovatively. They can think innovatively and to apply this critical thinking and design thinking in their minor project or major project while they are making the project, so that they can think that the project should be feasible and that project have some application in day-to-day life or in the practical learning. So that's why this session is very important in this point of view, so that the student think in the different way. As we know that the design thinking is nothing but it is the ideology or the process that seeks that to solve a complex problem in the simple way. So when we solve a problem or when we think about the solution of any problem, so that it should be technically feasible and should be uh, it should solve the problem of the end users. So we have to think like that, so that we can when we when we want to find out the solution for any problem which are related with the day-to-day life or which are related with the society. So we have to think innovatively, we have to think differently, so that uh, because any problem when we we want to find out the solution. So there are the different ways by which we can find out the solution. So what optimum or feasible solution we can, how we can find out, that is more important. Again, if we talk about the creative thinking, it is an invaluable skill that helps you to look the problem in the different way, to look the problem with new perspective, and to develop a new unconventional solution that do not rely entirely on the past or current solution. So we have to think out of box for any problem, so that and we have to apply the some creativity while solving the problem. So critical thinking can provide a way to alter our mindset, to improve the way we think, uh, uh, to improve the way we think of the problem or situations, which reflect positively on our decision. I am very thankful to Sudesh sir for sharing his valuable time with us to guide and inspire our participants. As Sudesh sir himself is a successful innovator, he has developed so many projects, he has developed so many products for the industries and for the societies. So this session will be a very fruitful session for our participants. So again, once again, I welcome Sudesh sir and request that he should carry on with the session. Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much,
much,
sir.
Pardi sir. We are indeed feeling fortunate to have our guest for today's program. As rightly said by you, sir, and your deep understanding and passion for innovation is definitely helping our students to justify the field of engineering, and they are definitely coming up with new projects under your guidance. Moving ahead with the program, well, there's a common saying that says, a mediocre leader just tells, a good leader explains, the superior leader demonstrates, but a great leader inspires. And for new innovation and new innovative thinking, we definitely need good inspiration. Inspiration is often seen elusive. We see it as something out of reach, which we cannot get it. But we are highly fortunate to have with us today Mr. Sudesh Morey, who has taken out his precious time for SISTec-R students and faculties to throw light on such widened and much concerned topic. Here, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce you all with the profile description of our guest, Mr. Sudesh Morey, who is the Managing Director of Drmz System Innovations Private Limited. He is the founder of Drmz, which was founded in the year 2010. Drmz System Innovations Private Limited is an embedded system solutions and educational service provider company based in Bhopal. I really feel delighted to showcase his phenomenal educational background, and he is considered as the source inspiration for the whole team. He has completed his BTech from National Institute of Technology Bhopal, Manit, and did his post-graduation degree in management, that is PGDM, at Indian Institute of Management, Indore, which is IIM Indore. He is a well-known speaker and always mesmerizes the crowd in his unique ways and the ways by which he connects with his audience. He is an expert in robotics, circuit designing, image processing, MATLAB, and embedded system. I'm sure our audience are really amazed by finding the profile description of our respected guest, and we are really looking forward for such innovative session for today. Here, I would humbly call upon Sir, Mr. Sudesh Morey, to take over the audience.
Thank you so much, Dixit ma'am. Thank you so much, Padi sir. Thank you so much for those kind words. It's always an honor and great pleasure for me to be part of any of the SISTec initiatives or event. It's really very helpful for all of us to connect with the students because we are already doing a lot of innovations in different domain, and connecting with institutions helps us a lot. Recently, we had interns from SISTec College as well. They are performing extremely well, and we are very happy to have them here. They have been part of our innovation that we are doing. So it's always a great honor to get associated with this SISTec. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again for inviting. And I'm seeing
Pleasure
that
to join us.
Manish Bilore sir has joined. So welcome, sir. And it's always a great honor to meet him and to talk to him and discuss a lot of things. So I think I should start with my presentation, or we should introduce Manish sir first.
Where it is our privilege to have Principal Sir with us today. So, if you do not mind, sir, I would request Principal Sir, who is always serving as a torch bearer and such good source of inspiration for us, to welcome our respected guest and throw some light on the event.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to Mr. Sudesh Morey, the guest speaker for today's workshop. I won't interfere between you and the audiences, Sudesh, so would request you to kindly proceed with your workshop, with your talk, so that we can take maximum advantage of the time. Thank you very much. Please carry on.
Thank you, sir. That is such a kind gesture from your side. Now, I would completely give the session to Mr. Sudesh Morey, sir, to deal with the audience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. So I'll first share my presentation here. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
it is
Yes.
visible.
Okay, I'll be playing video towards the end of the session. So I'm not sure how to uh, enable the audio here. Just 1 minute. I'll share once again. Yeah, now I can find it. Okay, so I'll start now. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So design and innovation thinking is in fact very interesting topic, and I think I've came across this topic quite long before, and many industries are talking a lot about it. Design and innovation thinking, critical thinking is now a part of innovation in industries across the world. In India, it's slowly gaining a lot of importance. So before I talk about this topic, let me give you a small idea how this design and innovation thinking can impact the product and can impact our customers to a great extent. So I'm mostly used to a presentation where we have audience, so it's a live. So I'll just simply ask the question: can any one of us identify the man in the image? I'll just wait for a few seconds, and then I'll tell the name. So this man, who has changed lives of lot many people, whose impact is so immense that generation remembers him, is nothing but Steve Jobs, and we all know that he is the founder of Apple Incorporation. This is his very old image I could find on internet, where he was showing his new Apple computers, uh, and how this small device changed the life of many people, changed and brought a disruption in this computer industry that we'll talk about a bit. So Apple Inc. was born as a computer company, which was named as Apple Computer Incorporation in April 1976. It was founded by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. The company was only focused on developing and selling personal computers and its software, but later on it expanded to many other domains. That's why in later times they changed the name from Apple Computers to Apple Incorporations. Apple, as we know, is a well-known as a company which also changed the phone industry through their iPhone products. So Apple is not a name that we everybody know about it, but the journey is very interesting and how design and innovation has impacted their product and the way customer use it. I just want to highlight here. So
Pardon,
here,
sir.
yes, sir.
Actually, if you are changing the slide, it has here the slides are not changing.
Oh, I've changed the slide.
Okay, now right now, okay, now it is changed.
Okay, I'm not sure why it's creating problem. So I'll use from this mode only. Is it changing now, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so just see at the image. It was the days when computers were first introduced, and how Apple disrupted this market during those days is can be concluded by this single small image. Here we are seeing two computers. One is the computer where we're seeing a lot of LEDs, indicators, and buttons, no keyboard, no monitor, nothing at all. And another we are seeing the Apple computer where they have keyboard, a central processing unit, and a monitor. So this is how Apple brought change. Although they are not the original inventor, Apple is not the original inventor of this keyboard or monitor or mouse, but they used it and brought it to the masses and brought the popularity of all these concepts. So it is very important that the basic task of computer is just to do computations, but keyboard and mouse and this monitor is very very essential for the user to interact with the computer. So this is how Apple brought disruption in the market. Apple became popular overnight. Another innovation that they did in their product is they made icons into an art. Imagine your life without just a command line. Many of us might be working on command line interface. We are used to it, but those who don't come from programming background, it is very difficult for them to use command line interface, to use a computer with such complicated interface. So definitely computer was not meant for mass usage. Apple identify that, and they use icons. And again, icons were not developed by them, but they use it so well, they integrated so well with their operating system that it was easy even for a beginner level of people to use computer. So that's how revolution of computers started, and Apple has a very important role to play into that. However, over time Apple definitely did one negative part of it, and by developing Mac OS, they made it only for their own devices. And as we all know, Apple devices are still a premium product, so it is out of reach of most mass users who cannot afford these products. So that is why the Mac OS could not reach to the masses, and that gave opportunity to another entrepreneur who identified this need and develop a operating system which is popular across the world by name Windows. So again, a small image here. You can see the young Bill Gates, who started his company Microsoft, very energetic, very passionate. And what did he do differently is this. I'll just briefly talk about Microsoft. So, Microsoft is an American multinational company which produces computer, software, consumer electronics, personal computers, and related service. Its best known software are Microsoft Windows. We all use Microsoft Windows and Microsoft Office, Internet Explorer, and many other things. So, what is the disruption that Microsoft brought is the negative of Apple. So Apple said, I have developed an operating system, but you have to buy my hardware, my product for to use that. Microsoft said, why to limit it to someone? So they said, let's launch it for the masses. So they developed a Windows operating system, which which can be installed on any commercially available computer or commercially available processor, and that's why it became popular overnight. So imagine the life. So disruption that is done by Microsoft is clearly visible in these two images. On the one side, we are simply want to know the what are the files or folders available on our desktop folder. We are seeing all those names, all those folders and files by name, and here in Windows we have a lot of icons, so it is so easy to understand what's on the folder, and it's become very easy for the user to work with it. So this is how design and innovation and critical thinking bring a lot of impact. Again, today we are seeing many other entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, who are who are disrupting the market, who are developing the product which never meant to be designed, because traditional developer never would design that. So there are many people who are very critically using this design and critical thinking process to develop their product. Now, coming to our core topic, which is what is design thinking? So, design thinking is a methodology for creating problem solving, for creative problem solving. It is very important that the problem that we are trying to solve should follow a particular steps. That is what design thinking is all about. It is a complete methodology, and to solve our problem, we should use all creative methods to get to the root of the problem. The definition was first developed by Stanford University. So, what is design thinking? It is a structured process for problem solving. Means whatever problem we are solving, we should follow specified step. We should not randomly target our problem. So that is how design thinking is designed. We are trying to address some complicated wicked problems, and such problems usually involve different lot of stakeholders. We can use this design thinking for technology, process, policy, and many other purposes. The purpose is to facilitate innovation, solutions, and reduce risk. So the aim of design thinking is to to promote innovation and reduce the risk in the product, which when goes to the market, if it fails, it will come back, and then the whole process has to be repeated. So that's why we develop design thinking methodology to reduce the risk of failure of the product. To develop a product using design thinking methodology, there are 5 stages which are designed, and I think this is the core part of design thinking. There's a lot of things that can be talked about design and critical thinking, but I felt that I should focus on the core points. And with a case study, I would like to explain the use of each and every stages. And when you as a student wish to develop any project or product, so you should also follow all these stages. So what are these stages? Let's have a look at it. Empathize. The first stage talk about empathy. Empathy means when we design our product, uh, we design from a designer perspective, from a developer perspective, from a coder perspective, but we hardly try to connect with the user. We don't try to see how user will going to use it, how user will going to love it. So like rightly said by Mahatma Gandhi, be the change you want to see in others. So if you want your product to be used, your project to be used by some other people, first try it yourself. You see around your family, you see how this product will be used. So first step is you have to empathize. You first have to understand the people, the environment, the ecosystem who is going to use your product. So the first stage talk about that, interacting with your user and understanding their needs. It is related to the empathize stage. The next stage of design thinking is define. So define is Empathize, we can say empathize is like exploration, exploring as much as possible. Define means we are now trying to reduce that exploration to conclusion. We are trying to come up with some points which are the actual pain points of the customer, what actually customer is looking for. Is that a need of the customer? Is that wow effect of the customer? Is it related to usage of the product? Do they find the need of the product or not? So what we do in the second stage is to define the actual problem, actual need the customer or the user is looking for, and then trying to come up with the solution for that those problems. So like rightly identified, so this define stage is this define stage talk about creating the problem, noting down the problem, defining the problem. Then we come up with the ideate stage where we try to solve, we try to come up a solution for all these problems that we have defined in the previous stage. Here again we try to iterate as many options as possible, option 1, option 2. Then we go to the customer or potential users, show them, take their feedback, and then again ideate. Here I'm not talking about a finished product or even prototype. I'm just talking about just an idea that you may be coming up with your project or product, to show them how useful is it is for them or not, what feedback do they give, and then again ideating more and more on that. After you have ideated your project or idea, you have to come with a prototype. A prototype is a very minimal feature product, very close to what minimum feature that a user will expect. And here you put in a lot of efforts to develop your product, and after developing that product you reach to the customers to see how do they react to it. And the final and stage is testing your product. So testing product means going to the customer. You may have to install this prototype to multiple locations. Even you can do testing at your own office. The first testing we always do is at our office only. So we test it product, we see if all the features are working or not. We see how users are responding to the working of our product. So all these things are done in the uh, test phase. So these are the 5 stage. Again, just noting down all the points that I've shared right now. So in different stages, like in empathize stage, we take a lot of interviews. We shadow, means we try to come up with a solution which they are looking for. We try to understand what potential users are looking for. And the most important thing in empathize phase is we should not judgmental with our thinking process. We should not think that our product should be the best, or we are the best, or that is the worst. We should be very open minded. We should listen very carefully to all our potential users, and then we should make up our mind and move on to the next stage, which is called define stage. So in define stage we narrow down what we have experienced by interviewing, interacting with your user. We come up with user personas. So personas is a word used for a virtual user, a potential user of your product. For example, if we talk about a electric vehicle bike, who could be the potential personas for that electric vehicle bike? It could be youngsters, it could be old age, and if it's allowed by regulation, it could be youngsters. Even it could be say Ola bike could also become a persona for electric vehicle bikes. So these are different examples of personas. We also define the roles and objectives of all those personas. All these personas have different use of their product. Youngster are excited about technology, so they like it to run something new, something more than just a cycle. Old age people are cannot walk long, and they don't want, they cannot drive heavy vehicles, so maybe electric vehicle bike can be useful for them. Ola bike rider needs it all around the day. He's working for it, he's earning from this product, so this should be robust for his own application. So that's how for different user personas we have different roles and objectives. Then what decisions we need to take based on all this information, what challenges could be there while developing a product or using this product or project. What are the real pain points of the customer? What is that customers is really tired of, and he would be ready to get rid of those problems, those pain points, by using our products. So that we do in the define stage. In ideate stage, we again share ideas, all ideas worthy. We try to note down all possible ideas and solution for our product. We diverge and converge. We go way beyond our problem statement, and then we again come back to our problem statement, and then we just put up a lot of solutions, all possible options that we have, and see the which is feasible for us, and prioritize all those options. And then moving on to the next stage, after finalizing the final prototype, final idea, we create a prototype of it, a hardware, a potential hardware. And it is very very important to quickly develop such prototype, go to the market, go to the user, see them how they use it. If there are any problem, fail fast, and again after failing, reiterate your product and develop it. Once a reasonably good product is ready, we go to the test stage, and we go to the wider audience for its testing, take their more feedback. Again, there will be a lot of feedbacks, so we will iterate and develop, redesign our products. So these are different stages of design thinking. To shortly talking about all these stages, so empathize stage means connect with and understand the user. So we have to think, we have to put our shoe our feet in the user's shoe and try to understand their viewpoint. That is what empathize stage is all about. After understanding them, we try to identify the core problems through define stage. Then we come up with all possible solutions, which could be which could solve the problem that did in the define stage. And based on priority, choose one idea or two ideas, and based on those ideas, we try to develop a prototype. And that prototype we iterate again by testing or with small audience. And when a reasonably good prototype is ready, we go to the wider audience, and then test the product again. So these are different stages. Just a few points about all this stage I've just mentioned here. So I think it is better that I mention them again. So empathy is the foundation of human-centric design process. So in humans, we always empathize with the problem, with people. So when we develop a product or project, it should follow a human-centric approach, and empathy is the core of it, where you observe and engage with the user and immerse yourself to uncover their needs. What we try to do in this stage is to observe the user, carefully observe the user, involve with them, and try to understand the needs which even maybe user may not be knowing about it. Look for the issues they may or may not be aware of. It is possible that the issues that we identify while working them may not be, they even user may not identify those issues. Think in the terms of guiding innovation efforts and identify the right user to design for. So it is very essential to have a guiding approach in this and identify the right user for which you should design your product. It is not essential to solve all the problems. It's very very important. We should never try to solve all the problems, because we cannot solve all the problem. So it is very essential to choose a problem that is worthy to solve, and we should be capable to solve it, and user should be ready to pay for such problem to solve their own problems. Look to discover the emotions that guide their behaviors. And as we are all humans, the usage will definitely involve emotions. So we should also look for what emotions are attached to such kind of product, and how this user will behave while using our product. Next stage is define. So define mode is when you unpack and synthesize your empathy findings into compelling needs and insights. So whatever you have learned in empathize stage, you unpack them and note down in a clear points, like clear needs and insights. You also mentioned the scope, specific and meaningful challenge. It's critical to design process because it explicitly expresses the problem you're striving to address through your efforts. efforts, right? So it's a kind of clearly noting down the problem that we are trying to solve with all the points covering that particular problem. Ideate stage, as I said, is a process where we try to come up with all possible solutions. So ideate is the mode of your design process in which you aim to generate radical design alternatives. Now, it is not just all possible solution that we look for, but we also try to radicalize, come up with some breakthrough solutions which possibly no one would have thought about it before. Mentally, it represents a process of going wide in terms of concepts and outcomes. It is a mode of flaring rather than focusing. So, in this mode, what we do is we try to come up with all possible options. So, we try to randomly go in all directions to search for the possible solution of the problems that we identify in the previous stage. Step beyond obvious solutions and try and harness collective perspective, uncover unexpected areas of exploration. So it is very essential that we should explore in the unexpected area, then only we can come up with the best option possible. Get the obvious solution out of your heads and think differently. It's very important that don't come up with the obvious solution. We should definitely look for innovative and non-obvious solution in the ideate stage. So prototyping is basically getting ideas and exploring out of your head and into physical world. So whatever ideas that we have come up with an ideate phase, we need to bring down to come to it to give it a physical form. So prototype can be anything that takes a physical form. It can be a bit wall, be it a wall, post-it notes, a role-playing activity, a space, an object, a model, an interface, or even a storyboard. So prototype can be any of these things, but importance of prototype is it should have some physical form so that user or other stakeholder can see what we are actually planning to make or planning to design for our potential user. You need to learn, solve disagreements, start a conversation, fail quickly and cheaply, but still manage the solution building process. So, what we need to do in this prototyping stage is design your prototype and try to solve disagreements, start a conversation with your user, see how he's using it. If you find very serious problem in your product, fail quickly means quickly identify all the problems related to your prototype, and it cheaply means you should not invest too much of funds just to identify the problem in your product, because it will put a lot of stress on the resources, and again reiterate your prototype. But in overall all these things, the solution building process should continue. Last is the test, where testing is the chance to get feedback on your solution. So here, usually we try to go to the wider audience than the limited audience where we tested our product before. Refine solution to make them better and continue to learn about your user. So continuously, if there are certain feedbacks, refine your solution and continuously take the feedback from the user. Prototype as if you know are right, but test as if you are wrong. So when you prototype a product, we should think that we are doing the right thing. But when we test a product, we should think that we have done all wrong, and we try to come up with all problems that possible with our product. So that if actually we identify some wrongs and wrong thing about of our prototype or product, we should be able to reiterate it. You test to refine your prototypes and solution to learn more about your user. It is essential that you refine your prototypes and make it better. That you can do only by understanding your user even better, with the goal of testing and refining your point of view. It may be possible that when you go to the user with your product, even your point of view changes, because what we thought that user may be looking for may not be true. So a very simple example, again, I'll give you in terms of two examples. In fact, I'll give you one is say electric vehicle again, where we all know that government of India is pushing a lot for electric vehicle. But the problem with electric vehicle car, I'm talking about cars, is they need to be recharged after every 200 kilometers. We don't have that infrastructure. And again, the cost of electric vehicle is still high. Like the commercial versions available are starts from 15 lakh and so. So are customer really ready to go to buy a electric vehicle? We need to make really sure, although this technology is absolutely green and all advantage it has, but ultimately it really solve the problem that our user want to solve from this. Another example is smart home or smart devices that we are using all around these days. But smart, everybody would like to have their home smart. But in how many homes do we see a smart home? Probably smart home is not actually fulfilling the smartness that a user is looking for. So this is how we should do in a test phase, where we should put down our preconception, our obsession about regarding with our product, but see from a user centric view, where he doesn't love your product, he's careless about your product, but still he finds some value in your product. So the so this design thinking process is full of iterations and repetitions. Once you go through one such product of design thinking and you understand the step well, in a future product this reiteration reduces, but in initial stage this reiteration is very very important. So like you can see that after when we pass from empathize stage to define stage, define to ideate, and then when you go to the prototype, we may again have to redefine our problems, we may have to again redefine our ideation or solution, and both in the prototype stage and the definition stage. Again, at test stage we may have to redefine our problem, we may have to redefine our ideas or solution, we may have to recreate our prototype altogether. So all this process is completely repetitive and goes on till we find the perfect product for our user. So there are lot of benefits of design thinking. The benefits involve formal process, which has a proper formal way of developing any idea or product. We know in which direction we are going. This is, there are When we see a lot of innovators, the main problem that they face is that they are very passionate about some technology. They are very passionate about developing and creating that technology, or developing or quickly coming down to a solution or a product, but they clearly ignore the standardized steps. They clearly ignore the user, what user is looking for. So at the end of the day they come up with a product which nobody wants. So this problems is definitely solved by design thinking. It comes up with a small formal process. It provides a strategy to those who are new to this approach. Say, for example, you are a creator, you are an innovator, but you don't understand all these stages. So, design thinking can help you a lot by making your product innovative and very very useful for your potential users. It supports collaboration among team and members. This I've seen many times in small teams. What happens is the clear division of work is not there. So everybody is doing everything. So it clears a lot of confusion. So if we follow design thinking approach, the tasks are clear, the division of work is clear. So collaboration become better. We are more data driven. We take decisions driven by data rather than our own views. So we say that electric bike will be very useful for the city of Bhopal. An example like this, the sharing bike that was installed by Smart City Bhopal, nobody is using it because they developed that product without without having a proper data from collecting data from the user. So so that's why this data driven approach is definitely followed by design thinking. uh, Other benefits involve early focus on understanding user. We can understand our user faster. Experimental approach of presenting ideas rather than coming radically coming down to our prospective solution. We come up with a lot of ideas which helps us to reduce the risk and cost of failure, which helps us to reduce our biases, which allows us for easier acceptance of failures. And we can work in diverse team. The understanding of user is increased by design thinking process, and the diversity provides the breadth of knowledge and context needed. So when we reach out to in empathize says, when we reach out to different users, naturally they become our potential customers. So by doing this exercise, we reach to more people, we develop our own contacts, and we also get a lot of knowledge in the process as well. Now, to best understand this design thinking process, I think I should come up with a small case study where we developed a product in house, and we develop a product which is already available in the market, and how differently we did it. And we are now trying to launch this product soon. So, that product is basically smart switchboard, which we are developing to convert our houses into smart home. So how we followed all these steps and put in all these learnings in our product, and still this process is ongoing. We have not yet launched the product to the end user. So I'll talk about this product development process, and maybe then we can understand all these stages with a good example. So, so what we are building is basically a smart switchboard, where we are replacing our all existing home switchboard with this smart switchboard. This smart switchboard will have all smart feature like voice based commands, and Wi-Fi app based control, and so many things. But just to develop that product, we need to understand the type of user that we are targeting with. So in the empathize stage, what we did is we try to understand that although there are so many smart home solutions available in the market, why is that it is not so popular while the market is so big? We hardly see smart home solutions in one or two houses when we go to visit any of such houses. So we just studied our user. So user could be divided in all these categories. So first category could be tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, where these are the cities: tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities. All these cities have different outlook, different needs, and different perspective. A tier 1 cities usually are those like Bangalore, Delhi, where we find a lot of population, paying capacity is higher, and the crowd and the people living there are mostly well educated. Tier 2 cities are also good targets, where the population may not be that high, but number of tier 2 cities are very high. Here we can find youngsters, young students who may be interested in such smart solutions. Tier 3 cities maybe other cities where we find limited use of such smart switchboard, but we should not be very we should go and test this product to see maybe they might be interested in such latest technologies. So one this is one set of users. Another set of users is residential, commercial, and industrial. Why is that smart home can be used only in residential home? Why can't it be used in commercial offices? We just did a small survey and found that there are two very important qualities where smart home can be used even in commercial locations. Industry, which are not very much worried about the wow effect, they but still the smart switchboard can be used in industries because they want to save on power, because the wastage of power is a lot. Again, if we talk about third category of users, third classification of user is based on their classes. There are poor class, lower class, middle class, and upper class. Upper class usually have a very high paying capacity, so they could be very good market fit for our product. Middle class is constantly growing with the reducing prices of electronic component. Middle class can be a very important target for us. Lower lower class people may not be very target audience, but we need to test in the field and see the response. And poor class obviously are not the focus area right now, because their priorities are very much different compared to smart switchboards that we are offering. So this was about empathize stage, where we empathize with our potential user, try to understand how we connect with them, what could be the use of our product to them. Second stage is defining the problem that we are trying to solve. Now, uh, every user, every division has different needs and different problems. So let us see those problems that they want to solve. When we go to tier 1 city, especially I am personally visited my friends in Bangalore and Pune. They're so busy 5 days a week, because half of their time is wasted just for traveling, and rest of the time they are too much occupied. Even if they are working from home, from morning 9 to evening 8, they are so tired that they really don't want to do the routine work of the day. So this, in one line, we can summarize their need. We are too tired of daily office schedule. Please make our life easier. So what they want, simply want, is make their life easier, right? Tier 2 city people may not be that busy, but they'll be definitely they would definitely like the wow effect to their visitors. If anybody is visiting their homes, the wow effect they want to give will be very useful for them. For that purpose, they may be very much interested in such kind of product. However, they are price sensitive, so price is important for them. Tier 2 cities, wow effect may be important, but they are more sensitive for the pricing compared to tier 2 cities. And even I have met so many people that say we don't need smart home, right? So we have to understand, yes, there are people who may not need smart home, at least right now, upfront they say, but if they see smart home solutions in their friends, they may be interested. But right now, there are many people who simply said we don't need it, and we have to accept such feedbacks. Now, based on this classification, where residential, industrial, and commercial premises we are talking about, so their needs are again different. Residential premises talks more about comfort, safety, and security, while industrial is more worried about energy saving and monitoring. Safety and security is not a problem for them in most industries, because they already have 24 cross 7 security cameras and guards patrolling all 24 cross 7. So but energy saving, because in industry it's a big industry, there are a lot of employees working. Someone is switching on off the devices, so wastage of energy is significant. And also they want to monitor which devices were on, which devices were off, which will help them to come up with a lot of reports. When we talk about commercial location, they are very much interested for energy saving. But one thing which definitely they would like to do in their offices is to give a high-tech look of the office, which will impress their visitor or guest or potential clients. So these the problem that we identified for smart home users. So this is about stage 2. In stage 3, we actually did a lot of brainstorming on the existing solution and what new we need to do. So the currently available smart switchboard solutions in the market are basically two types. One which can be installed inside the existing switchboard. So at our home, if we have an existing switchboard, they can be installed into that. Or there are some very smart switchboards where there are touch panels and a lot of things are there, which are installed separately. So, so what we saw in both these options, they are not very friendly. Why? Let me talk about that. So, touch is looks good, looks premium, looks very futuristic and high tech, but it's not very comfortable for kids, old age, and many non-technical people. So, just giving good looks, we are making it touch, but it is not so user friendly. Also, it adds a lot of cost. Second, the circuits which can be installed in our existing switchboard has a one very serious drawback, is that we have to manually switch on and switch off, and it creates a big confusion while using a customer. So for example, if we switch on a bulb through our app, we can see that the button is still off. So somebody will be confused, if the button is off, how light is on. So to switch it on and off again, we have to switch on and switch off the bulb, switch off the switch. So this is difficult. I won't go into very detail of this need, and just try to identify that how we ideated about our product. Also, other problem with the existing product is Wi-Fi is very compulsory. Uh, and especially in tier 2 cities, what we usually do is, when we install a Wi-Fi, usually the Wi-Fi network is not good all across our home. We usually install it in say in hall or maybe in bedroom. So if we install a Wi-Fi in bedroom, the network of Wi-Fi is not good in hall. So there are many interesting products coming in the market like Wipro bulb or Alexa bulb. So so this bulb need a very good Wi-Fi network. If Wi-Fi network is not available, this will not work. So this problem we iterated about, and we come up with a very basic version. So that basic version you can see, this is basically for prototype stage, but I introduce here to reduce my slides. So this is a very basic version where we can control it through app, Wi-Fi, switches, and all those things. Then we definitely improved upon our the basic version. This was our second version, and in that second version the looks part were improved. The buttons were looking better. However, when we tested in the market, tested not in the market, but tested in our own area, we felt that the size, most of the switchboard has a very fixed sizes. So if we design for every switchboard, it will be difficult for us to come up with different versions. Also, uh, for premium customers, the looks part are very important. And again, this product still not meeting the looks standard, because it's in black color, and also there are scratches issues coming up when we install it. So based on these problems, we come up with our third version, which is under exhaustive testing right now. Is this where we what we did is we installed our product on a commercially available switchboard and giving it a look which is matching with our product. So this product is way much better, and we showed it to many customers and many potential clients, and they said in the looks part it fits it all. Because if somebody is investing money for smart home, they would definitely like it to look very good, and at the affordable price. If we have to make it good, if we have to go for some digital screen, LCD screen, the cost will rise a lot. Also, we make sure that we should not use touch, at least at this stage, because there are many users who may not be comfortable with the touch interface, like old age people or even kids. And touch interface also have secondary problems, like if some amount of water is splashed or some issue is there. So that's why we come up with a on off switch. So now this product is still under test at our office. We have completely made our office smart, and we constantly checking the performance and looks part of it. And we are in a stage of field testing, which we will launch soon in some time. Now I'll just show a small video of this product so you get an idea how this product works. So please see the video. Hello, my name is Sudesh Morey. I am founder and director of Drmz System Innovations Private Limited. I think light in this room is slightly less. Let me use my smartwatch. Please switch on reception lights. See, the reception light is on. I can also control reception fan. Please switch on reception fan. See, reception fan is on. We can also use Hindi. Reception fan बंद कर दो. So, surprise! Let me show you our innovative product, that is Smart Switchboard. So this is our innovative product called Smart Switchboard. Using this product, we can control our home devices using Amazon Alexa, Google Home, smart watches, mobile app, and many other mediums. So let me show you a demo. Alexa, please switch on reception fan. Okay. See, the reception fan is on, and here we are seeing the level indicator, which is showing that the fan speed is full. We can change the speed of the fan as well. Alexa, set fan speed to 2. Okay. See, now the fan speed is 2. We can also control the other switches. Alexa, please switch off cabin light. Okay. So the cabin light is off. So that's how our product works. We can also use these switches to switch on and switch off the device. These switches are very friendly and not touch based. So old or kids can also use it very easily. And these switches are completely DC based. So they are safe even if you have water on your hand. So this is about our product. Thank you for watching. Okay, so this was the demonstration of the smart switcher that I was talking about. So this is just a brief intro. I think the introduction is already given by ma'am. So we are 2010 based company, and these are some of the achievements that we did in recent past. We got awards at 2 occasions. So that is it from my side. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I am open for questions if there are any. Uh, uh, Pardi sir, I think I can take questions for now.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you so much, sir. That was such a great insight on the topic. And I myself got completely engrossed in the topic, and I'm pretty sure that our students have also taken notes from it, as how you have emphasized on the various stages of launching a project, its prototypes, and how to get the test done. And I have found, as I was roaming around the corridor, I found many of the students attending and noting down things. So I just have a glance at their copy and found that they were writing about designer's perspective, especially not to just brag the project, but to actually work on it in real time and how to deeply connect with the audience. So we are really very much fortunate, sir, that you gave your precious time to us. And definitely, students have come up with some good questions which I would like to put up to you. Well, the first question here I have got from Mohit Saket from Mechanical Department. And the question is innovation totally based on creative thinking? If you can throw some light on it, sir.
Okay, so innovation is a vague term, right? It can be as small as having some colorful pen, or it may be as big as launching a satellite. So innovation, uh, for innovation, there are many building blocks. So creative thinking is just one of it. To innovate your product, you have to think creatively. That is true, but it is not the compulsory part of it. So, if you want to innovate your product, I would better say based on our own experience, uh, for whom are we innovating a product? For whom we are innovating our project? Is it we ourselves, or it is for our users or customer? So it's very important to understand your customer first and have a very wide understanding of how our customers are. Based on that, you apply your creative thinking to come up with the innovative solutions. I'll give you a very small example, the toothpaste, right? I'm not exactly remembering the name of the toothpaste company, toothpaste brand. So in Hindustan Unilever, I think the panel, the manager panel, was discussing a case where they wanted that the use of toothpaste should be increased, right? The toothpaste is there. Say, for example, close-up toothpaste is there, and they wanted that the sale of this close-up toothpaste should be increased. What innovative we should do to increase the sale of the toothpaste? Now they have all branding and all everything. The how the user use it, we cannot control how user are using the toothpaste. So some peon or some lower grade person came up, sir, why don't you increase the size of the nozzle of the toothpaste, like the nozzle from where the toothpaste comes out? Why don't you increase the size of the toothpaste? If you increase the size, because what we do is we don't see the thickness of the toothpaste, but the length of the toothpaste. Every user just take care of the length of the toothpaste, not the thickness. So just by increasing the size of the nozzle, the sale, the volume that a user using increases. So in this way, by using a very small idea which came from a person who was not a manager, who was not a very well educated person. So innovation can come from anywhere. What that person, why that person was able to give that very small suggestion, but very important suggestion, is because he was the user of those toothpaste. He understands those things, right? So that's why whenever you want to make a very creative and innovative product, please connect to your user. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, sir. There are some more questions which have been raised by our students who are getting insights on being innovative from now onwards. So the other question is, what makes design thinking different from project-based thinking? And this has been asked by Mr. Kaushik Pandey, again from Mechanical Department.
Right. Uh, I think it's a good question. So, project based thinking and design based thinking are totally different. If we say then project based thinking is a subpart of design based thinking. Uh, let's take an example. You are in a big organization where there are different teams. Usually, we find in all organizations there are different teams. So there is different market team, markets research team. Then there are engineers team, and so many teams are there. So what their teams do is one team do research, go to the market, they come with the with potential needs of those users, and then they pass on those insights to say engineering team, manufacturing team. So different teams are there. So when a single team is working on a project, their aim is just to focus on that project, and whatever insights are given by say marketing team or research team, work on those insights and develop a product. But clearly when we do that, we don't understand our users. We have not taken in the mind how user will use it, right? We just have few points that in our project we should have A, B, C, D, E features, and we are focusing on that project points, and we are developing our product. We are not concerned about how our user is going to use it. So when the developer or the innovator is not connected to the user, he will make a product which most probably may not be as good as it could be for the user. So user will eventually reject it. So it will again, the process will repeat, what are the problems, and the product will come back to the inventor, and inventor will design it. So it will involve a lot of cost, because you have developed a product that has gone to the market, and then it has failed and it had come back to you, which involve a lot of cost. So what design thinking says is, design thinking says that you first start with connecting with the user, which is the empathize stage. So you should first think, how would you yourself, being the user, behave, right? So that's why project based thinking is just a subpart of design based thinking. We need to definitely go to the design based thinking, and then only we should come to the project based thinking. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, sir. As I can see, there are so many questions which just our students have put up. One of the questions has been asked by one faculty. How can we adopt the design thinking or creative thinking? Can you tell some key points on it? Just the sum up of it.
Okay, so see, in my presentation, I have given a lot of points, but to summarize all of them is, first, this design thinking, when we go in the domain. So let's take design thinking for education, right? So even if we talk in education domain, we first need to understand what type of students we are targeting, what their needs are. So once we have identified them, then we can adopt the different methodology of designing our solutions for them. So when we get connected with our audience, we can come up with innovative solutions like presentation slides, musics, games, or even in lab sessions we can go for it. So when if we have to adopt it, we just need to connect with our user, nothing more than that. And I think the design thinking will take its course on its own.
So I'm sure the faculties are definitely going to apply the methodologies which you have discussed in the session, sir. And it was really a great insight. And we, as a faculty, have also taken various notes on what all you have discussed in the session. And
Sure.
again, I am deeply thankful for you for imparting your precious time for us, for as students. We always look forward for such innovative sessions under IIC, and we look forward for some more good, healthy, and meaningful sessions with you also, sir, in future.
Sure,
And
ma'am.
towards the end, I would like to hand over to Mr. C.K. Parthi, who is the president of IIC, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Uh, the session taken by Sudesh sir is very informative and very explanative. Sir put one case study of his project, of his innovation, while explaining the things, design thinking, and the steps of design thinking, how he take the first step, empathize, and what data during that emphasize first step he collected. So, with his innovative with this innovation that is a smart board, smart switchboard. So with this innovation of smart switchboard, he explained each and every point related to design thinking and the steps, the 5 steps of design thinking. Emphasize, define the problem, then ideate the things, and then make some prototype, and last one is the test. So now all these 5 steps he explained very well with his innovative product, that is smart switchboard. And all the things which are related, which are required in the innovation, and and this design thinking is the part of innovation. So I thought that all the participants, all the students who are making their minor project, major project during their study, so they will keep in mind this design thinking steps uh, while thinking of any minor project or major project uh, during their study. So the session was very informative, very explanatory, and so I put my gratitude to Sudesh Morey sir from on behalf of the institution, on behalf of the IIC, Institutional Innovation Council. Thank you very much, sir, for the nice session, and definitely uh, we require your help in the future for the activities which are related with the innovation and design thinking. So further, we will also approach you for any type of help regarding this. So thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a great honor always to get associated with SISTec. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Right.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.